Hello to all of our listeners, all of our life learners. Today we are doing our follow through episode on the Business of Life Masterclass podcast from our interview with Dennis Hartin. His original episode aired on September 26th, and the topic is combining mission with passion. Barb Zant here, media sales leader and founder of the lifestyle brand Stay at Work Mom.
Hi, everyone. It's Debbie Lundberg, performance, mindset, and resiliency coach with Presenting Powerfully.
Debbie, we loved having Dennis on. What a great guest that he was, and can't wait for all of our listeners and viewers to hear his episode. Excited to share some of the things that we did. First thing that kind of caught my attention is that Dennis is a car enthusiast, and your husband is a Corvette enthusiast. Similar. But I know that you go and do your laps and do some of the same things that Dennis talked about as well.
Yes, and he liked Formula One, and we enjoy that to an extent. And we have had Corvettes in the past. We've had different cars in the past. We had a Ford Torino. So Michael definitely comes from a line of family members who like cars, and I came from the General Motors background with working there for before starting my practice. So it made me think of and share a little bit with Michael about we had gone to the Corvette driving school. Now that's not Formula One, it was Corvette, but it was very cool. And as a matter of fact, Motor Enclave is here, and perhaps we'll ask Brad from Motor Enclave to be on the show because they are doing so many cool events. We have one coming up that we've been thrilled to get invited to participate, and we get to do laps. So an interesting cocktail attire gala that we'll be putting on helmets and going for laps before, but maybe Dennis will be there. I might text him and see if he's going to be there. The other thing about Dennis is he's such a supporter of many worthy causes, and especially mental health. And I've known Dennis for quite a while, and he was impressed with hearing Effie's episode, and I hope our life learners got to listen or see that. So that got us talking about Dennis, and shame on us because we didn't have him on the radar until then. And absolutely, his energy, his enthusiasm, all of it is so good. So now he admitted to us, though, that a lot of his energy comes from Celsius, I think multiples during the day. And we did that. Now, I'd had Celsius before, but I've been eating and drinking really clean. And I know you have for a long time. And I had been doing that for about 3.5, 4 weeks, just really watching everything. So when we had this Celsius, I got very warm and I got a little jittery, and then I felt like I ate a lot when we went to that event right after because I wanted to calm my system. So I was feeding it more than fueling my body. But listen, the taste of the Celsius was good. I get the reason someone would like it. It's not really for me for an everyday or multiples in the day type of thing. Maybe a little, because I had a shot of it. They had it at Orange Theory a few weeks back, and my friend John and I both had it, and it was good. But I did take that whole, I don't know that you drank the whole can, but I did. And whew, I don't know. What were your thoughts? Because I kept saying to you, I think I'm warm. I think I'm warm.
Well, I love the caffeine. It has a lot of caffeine in it. In fact, on our sales floor, we often bring some of that in when we're doing blitzes because everyone loves it and it gets everyone excited. However, when I started going on this health journey and we had our big trek on Mount Blanc and I was eating whole to prepare for it, it's extremely unhealthy. Celsius. And so the ingredients, it wasn't on my list. And after doing, Whole Foods for 90 days, it does change your taste buds. And all of a sudden, the Celsius that I loved, it was a little more syrupy, and
Mm-hmm.
it almost tasted like medicine going down. I love the high energy that I get, and it's a lot of caffeine. And so I love that, quick little feeling. So I'll continue to do them in my sales blitzes and when I need that extra umph. But because my trainer, who we have on and who I've introduced to you and
Mm-hmm.
will be on soon, it does not make my list of foods,
Yeah,
healthy
Amy,
eating.
if
So
Amy's listening, I told her, by the way, I told Amy that we just love Dennis and of course that we're going to do everything. And she said, "What? You're going to have Celsius?" I said, "We are, and we're not going to apologize for it."
no.
And we had two flavors, and the one that was red, it was I don't know, it was berry and something. That I thought tasted good. The other one was what, perhaps pear and something. I didn't think it had really any flavor. So maybe my whole eating hasn't caught on where it tasted syrupy to me. I felt that it didn't have much flavor, but I did, right or wrong, good or bad, I really liked the taste of that sounds terrible. The red one. I don't even remember we took a picture so we could look at the picture and see what the flavors were.
And we'll post the picture with our follow through when we share the link, because I definitely like the taste of both flavors. But just knowing some of the ingredients that
I,
are in there, I'll save that for a special occasion and special
yes.
sales blitzes and things like that.
Well, I don't know how Dennis needs any caffeine or Celsius because his dogs wake him up, and then he's got this channel or this handle where he has these dogs that are pretty incredible.
Yes,
And
yes, I
I
was
mean,
looking for that.
just a joy in his life. And then he started sharing it during the pandemic, which made me take a couple pictures. Well, listen, we take a lot of pictures of Daisy, but I did post a couple pictures of Daisy, and it didn't start her own handle or anything, but Dollop of Daisy Miranda. As a matter of fact, I'm going to post one shortly that Laura, Toby, who she and Scott watch Daisy. I think when Daisy even hears or sees them, she just forgets all about Michael and me. And I didn't take the picture, but Laura did. And it looks like Daisy is sitting at a table waiting to be fed her food, and she is smiling. If this doesn't bring joy, I completely get the reason Dennis started doing that and the reason people like to follow him and his dogs, because there's something about the innocence and silliness of cats or dogs doing funny things that just it lightens your heart and your spirit. So he inspired me to pay even more attention to Daisy, take some pictures, and I definitely get it. And he's not been doing as many stories about the dogs as he was sharing with us, but everybody will want to look back and get a little chuckle out of what he shared.
Yes, and I did look for that content and I love it. And my son did something similar during that time, and he was blogging. And we have the Dog's Day News, so he would just talk about all the things that Sierra and Charlie were doing throughout the day, and they were always funny from his younger mind at the time. So the dogs were a part of Dennis's morning routine. And
Mm-hmm.
so he mentioned that the dogs actually wake them up, the natural alarm clock at 6 a.m., and then that, they go for a walk. And so that was the other thing that I focused on, is because my dogs get neglected by me. My husband, for sure, gives them loves and their walks and stuff in the morning, but I wanted to get in on that attention with the dogs. And yes, they definitely get up quite early, earlier than our alarm, like in the fours. I think usually Chris lets them out for the first time, but just giving them that extra attention and quick walk. It did brighten my day, just like the videos and the YouTube content that he has, and the pictures that you talked about, and the blog that my son writes. The animals, they bring us joy for sure.
Well, we attempted to do that with Daisy, and Daisy is so conditioned to hear us get up that she did not wake us up. That little stinker will get up as soon as she hears. She knows not to get up when I get up to go run. She knows to get up when Michael does, and then she goes in with him. So we did that. Carrie and I weren't running one day, and Michael and I said, let's just see what happens, because, my husband knows that you and I love to do our follow throughs and follow what our wonderful leaders like Dennis do. She did not get up. I mean, finally we got up out of bed because we were waiting for her. So we had a fail on that one. And I can't say that Daisy failed. Daisy's smart enough to know that that wasn't her way. Now, if it had been Lexi, when we had Lexi or Onyx, or even when we had Belle, they would get up and come over. And that also brought joy, because Lexi would go along the side of the bed and try to find where like a limb, a foot, a hand, anything was sticking out, and she'd push her head up against it. So even remembering that certainly gave us a big smile. So Dennis, thank you to you when you're listening, and for all of our life learners, enjoy a pet or watch a dog or a cat for one of your friends, and note how much you get out of it, as opposed to, oh, I have to feed them or walk them. It's, what do I get to do differently when I'm walking them and feeding them? Because they'll do something funny.
Joy. So, Debbie, as we close this out, please know, listeners, that you can stay connected with us on Instagram and Facebook at the Business of Life Masterclass Podcast. Me at the Stay at Work Mom, and Debbie Lundberg is Debbie Lundberg most everywhere. Debbie is Debbie Lundberg Coach on TikTok. If you liked what you heard, please rate us 5 stars, and we are committed to providing you with 5-star guests just like Dennis. So stay tuned, and thank you for joining us for this episode of the Business of Life Masterclass, the podcast for successful people embracing every chance to accomplish and experience all you can in business and in life.
Listen, choose, do. Thank you. If you have ever thought, gosh, I'd like a collaborator, I wonder what else I could do, it's likely that the answer is a coach. Hi, I'm Debbie Lundberg, Performance and Mindset Coach with Presenting Powerfully. And if you would like confidential coaching to drive you to the next idea, the next role, or even to figure out your own brand, please reach out to us at Presenting Powerfully, 813-494-4438. Thank you.